Morning, good evening, and good night, wherever you may be watching this transmission. Guys, welcome to another very special edition of Morning Coffee with Mike. I hope everybody is doing fine. Hope everyone's enjoying their week. It is Friday, it's Morning Coffee, and I'm going to go spread the link out and let people know that we are live, and DLive is working, and we have no issues streaming. And just real quick here, just get more people on the platforms, the platform, sorry, and hopefully more people could join us in the live chat, and we could discuss what is going on. So we're having problems with multiple platforms and streaming, and it's nothing new to us. It's nothing new. It's been happening for a while now, and any platform we go on over time, there's always a problem with something, and we end up either not getting a stream key or getting an error when streaming. When there's nothing we're doing, we're not changing anything, we're not effing around. I log out of all the apps, go back into the apps. I even went as far as emailing OBS. It's basically censorship full blast. Censorship full blast. And because we're in Canada, right? Because we're on Canada, we are in a little bit of a problem. The layering of censorship in Canada, YouTube has been working, and we talked about this 2-3 years ago, and we talked about the layering, how when the internet went down in Canada, across Canada, and I had a video that was up at the right time, I guess, and it blew up. The video blew up. I got 6,000 subscribers in one day. It was crazy. Dr. Mysterio's in the house, has made the transition. Thanks, buddy. And you get paid in lemons for I guess, chatting, talking, and you guys could donate me lemons, and they don't equate to much in dollars, so it doesn't really matter. So, yeah, I'm going to dedicate to DLive, and then I'm going to put up the live stream after on the other platforms and let people. So we're going to strictly do this for streaming because it's reliable, it works, you can watch it in high quality, and I have no problems on my end, and I enjoy doing this with you guys, right? And I appreciate you guys being here, and it means a lot to me, but I have a feeling, okay, Mike, what gave you that feeling at that time about they're going to pull the trigger on the pandemic? Mike, what gave you the feeling that inflation is going to go rampant into hyperinflationary territory if we don't raise rates? Mike, what's giving you the feeling? No. Same thing with this whole platform thing. I have a feeling. Believe me, I have a feeling about something, guys. You need to just please, if you've trusted me for the last 10 years, or 12 years, or whatever, how long you've been watching and discussing with me and going over, different talking points and speaking points and headlines and stuff like that, you need to believe me on this. Something is going to happen with the headlines. Believe me, something's going to happen with these platforms, not the headlines. Headlines are going to continue becoming a distraction in your life, and headlines are going to continue taking you off path. Headlines are there to dissuade you, move you around. And that's why you have your Rumble heroes, because they stick to what the status quo is. You have your Twitter stars, all these Twitter stars that came up in 2021, 2022. All these people that no one's even heard about are now making it and doing well. And yeah, so it looks like we have less than 5 viewers watching, so it's just going to probably be me here today. If you want to leave a chat and if you want to join us, we'll be here. The app is really nice. The app for DLive on your phone is very good, just very good interfacing, right? That's what Dr. Mysterio told me the other day, that the interfacing looks good. And we move on here for a year or two, and then we move back to another platform if we're allowed to, because things change a bit, or they forget things, or they allow me to reopen, and you know what I'm saying? So, okay, guys. So it looks like it's going to be me here on the show today alone, and I have no problem with that. And let us pick this up, and let us pick up what is happening in the headlines. And it's just advertising on everything. So just bear with me. So let's go over a little bit of censorship, if that's okay. There's the censorship there. Musk says old Twitter was censoring conservatives 10 times more than liberals, and he took over to thwart the mind virus affecting civilization. Now, imagine how long Canadian internet companies have been working hand in hand with internet companies here. That's why we have 2, 3, some people argue 4 companies, whatever. But they're all going under the same model. They're all under the same yoke. They're all under the same protectionism. Because a lot of people that I've had on Mike in the Night with a couple of hundred, 1,000, maybe 10,000 subscribers on Mike in the Night have blown up. 200, 300,000 subscribers. They're getting the word out. But they're on American territory. They're in the United States of America. I was looking at all the guests I had on Mike in the Night, and a majority of them, I think, the legendary guests that we had on, a majority of them all in the United States. Tony from God Rules, one after another, that blew up their channels, were all in the territory of the United States of America. And that's that. So Mark says old Twitter was censoring conservatives 10 times more than liberals, and he took over mind virus affecting civilization. So ex-owner Elon Musk has announced the platform, before he took it over, heavily suppressed conservative content, specifically signaling out Republicans who, according to him, were suppressed tenfold in comparison to liberals. Republicans were suppressed 10 times at the rate of Democrats, Musk said. Now, that's because old Twitter was fundamentally controlled by the far left. It was like completely controlled by the far left. Musk revelations on social media platforms approach came while he was conversing with none than other podcaster Joe Rogan, drawing attention to the prior administrative period of Twitter. So it's been happening for a while. Joe Rogan could talk about it. It's been happening on Twitter for years. So it's given an open door for Joe Rogan to kind of, it's been a long time now. So Joe Rogan could come on the scene now and kind of talk about it and sensationalize it. But it's been happening for years. After my first channel termination in 2012, I realized that, it took me 8 years to get 8,000 subscribers. So we saw here up north in Canada how the draconian laws were being put in place at an earlier time, right? And, okay, nobody in the comments. So no problem, guys. We're just transitioning. So it's going to be a slow roll. And if you're watching this on other platforms on replay, go on to DLive, where you're not getting stuffed or stuffed to death with Rumble Heroes down your throat and auto counting down into other platforms that you've never heard of that are all post-COVID. Come and join us here on DLive if you'd like. I think we're going to have a very interesting Mike in the Night, folks. I think we're going to have a very interesting Mike in the Night, folks. It's going to be hard when there's no one in the comments, but I'll get through it. It'll be like early Mike in the Nights where we're so heavily censored on YouTube. I had 2 people watching Mike in the Night the whole night, and I managed to get through it. I just managed to do what I can, right? So Canada hides its vacant home count with last-minute registration delay again. So remember, we talked about vacant homes and money laundering and how money laundering is destroying the fabric of Canadian middle class, and empty homes create artificial shortages. And it looks like I'm blocked from another news website. Yeah, I'm blocked. Sorry, guys. I'm just checking something out here. And I am blocked from another news site here. I bid you all good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever you're watching. Because they block you when you read their headlines, and they just block your IP, right? The Corona Resistance, and you're watching Mike in the Night. Live from Winnipeg, Mike in the Night. Okay. So here we are here. Let's go over the vacant homes and what we discussed. I think this is very important that we address this, because Vacant Homes Emergency Canada, U.S. Australia, New Zealand, UK, and England. Empty home phenomena. What is happening? This is out of control. That's why hasn't anyone called an international emergency on this, is playing with our futures. So empty homes 6 years ago, empty homes spreading to suburbs. And I've been talking about this for years. This is 6 years ago, and I'm already telling you guys, I've been talking about this for years. People never look they never look to the town over until it's too late. This will force local people into smaller towns, and cities will raise taxes, right? I'm paying $4,400 or $4,200 for property tax and $800 for garbage and water. Vancouver, vacant home tax 2%. Rest in peace, Seattle and Toronto. You're next 7 years ago. What did we predict on this channel? We told you guys that when Vancouver put on their foreign buyers tax, Seattle and Toronto, watch this, folks. You don't have to be Catholic to know what this means, but watch this. There it is, folks. There it is. There it is. 7 years, 11 months ago. 25,000 vacant homes in Vancouver causing an artificial shortage and homeowners wealthy on paper. My opinion, what is going on, people? That's an average 3 people per home, 25,000 times 3. That's a lot of misplaced people. Artificial shortages making homeowners wealthy on paper. 6 years, 9 months ago. Watch this, folks. There it is. Vacant tax nightmare. Vacant homes will force people into homelessness. Economy is too dependent on foreign investing. Housing supply on demand. Empty homes in Vancouver. Walk in the streets 7 years ago. So, let's get back to the article and what they're telling us today. Canada is serious about tackling real estate speculators all of a sudden. All of a sudden, they need to tackle this problem. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just hours before October 31st, vacant home filings were due. The deadline was delayed by 6 months. Of course, the last minute change, but the Chinese are a bit slower getting the paperwork done and stuff. It's not Canadians that are doing this with vacant homes. It's not Iranians. It's not Palace. It's not the Portuguese. It's not all these other... No. It's the Chinese. Okay, so let's call a spade a spade. The last minute change is the second extension and delays the vacant home count. It's quickly becoming a trend for policymakers to publicly pass aggressive housing policy that then undermined that policy during the execution phase. Canada's underused housing tax, UHT. In Canada, the federal vacant home tax is officially called underused housing tax, the UHT. It requires owners of vacant and underused land to pay 1% on the assessed value. 1%. Why do we have 2% here? Why do we have 2%? Vacant home tax, 2%. They may have lowered it to 1 because this is almost 8 years ago. Interesting. Was I misinformed? That's the question. The goal is to restore efficient use to property markets exploited by investors. Oh, okay. So damn you Canadian investors buying these homes because you have so much money for food. The Canadians have so much money for food, so much money to throw around that they buy all these homes and they leave them all empty. Damn you Canadians for doing that. Damn you. But no, efficient, so there it is. Efficient use in the odd term that may require further explanation. It sounds like a useless term thrown around by guys that counts their kids' age in quarterly filings. No, Canadian property values are high growth and have usually low property tax rates. For example, Toronto's tax rate is about a third of the rate of a similar-sized U.S. city like Houston. It's possible due to taxpayers picking up the rest of the tax via federal and provincial taxes. The relatively low carrying cost make Canadian real estate prime for hoarding. And it's something we've been and vacant homes will force people into homelessness. Economies too dependent on foreign investing. Right here, 7 years ago. But now we're going to have Twitter stars. We're going to have Rumble heroes. And we're going to have YouTube influencers post-COVID that are going to come out and let you know that vacant homes are forcing people into homelessness when we were telling you 7 years, 8 months ago. And now it's making headlines that Canada hides its vacant home count with last-minute registration. So, I mean, there it is right there. But you're going to have people coming forward to tell you this today. And this is the problem. But looking at people that have been telling you this is a big problem. And if we could have fixed this 8 years ago, we wouldn't be talking about this today. But that is the problem we are facing. And that's why all these headlines you are seeing, folks, everything they are telling you is a massive, massive distraction. Distracción. Yeah. Guys, we are live on DLive, and we got 5 people watching. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll be strictly streaming on here until either we get kicked off or we get moved around, or we are not welcome on other platforms, and they're doing these cunning and underhanding things to us. So we're just gonna go here for about a year. Get used to it, folks. If you're in the family, it is what it is. Families move around. Families do things together, and families need to learn just to live with the environment that they're in until we could move forward into greener pastures, right? Yeah, a lot of people that were making these videos back in the day have went on and just go on speaking tours now, and yeah, it's good. And speaking of taxes, we did this video here, and I need to go back to this because we're getting totally crippled, and people are trying to figure out why we're being crippled. So let's go back to this. So important. Canadian government attack on private sector, more tax hikes, 23% by 2020. 6 years ago, Canadian government attack on private sector, more taxes, more hurting young families, Canadian taxes. Here's what to expect. There will be what will be more expensive in 2017, up 23% by 2020. So, look at this, folks. Tax hikes on small businesses, farmers, and doctors. They're coming. And the government says they're basically getting away with it. These liberal... So, this summer, while Canadians have been enjoying our beautiful country and reconnecting with their families, the Liberal government in Ottawa has proposed tax changes that attack small businesses, which are the economic backbone of our community and our country. I need your help to make sure that they don't get away with it. Well, fast forward 8 years, they've gotten away with it. They've done it. And they're coming off after farmers and doctors. And we've been warning you here on this. Not sensationalizing the headlines. We've been trying so hard to make sense of this. So hard so that people could understand what is happening to them and where things are going to happen and where they're going to go and where they eventually going to end up. And, yeah. 3 years ago, Vancouver approved 7% property tax hike, destroying middle-class families, mass exodus ahead. The city of Vancouver has approved a 7% property tax increase along with its 2020 budget after some back and forth on the tax. Councillors settled on 7%. Wow. Anyways, folks, they're distracting you now. Right? All these headlines, everything they're telling you is a massive distraction. Wow. Okay, Netanyahu rejects Biden. No pause in fighting without release of hostages. So we're going to get Dr. Mysterio on this Saturday, if he could make it, on Mike in the Night. He's got some groundbreaking. He's doing some research. He's taking his notes. He's checking them twice. He's going to find out who's naughty or nice. And he's going to come on Mike in the Night and explain this to us. And it kind of ties into my angle where they were protesting this guy out for 40 weeks. kind of ties in, but his angle is actually more better, or it's more. It's a more concrete angle than what I was kind of offering you guys or telling you guys. So, complaint calls for Trump New York trial. That's a distraction. Economy added just 150,000 jobs in October. Unemployment rises to 3.9%. Remember the job numbers? They're changing, and they're not. A lot of that is public sector. We talked to this, and this is in the States, but this is public sector jobs. When Trudeau announced, we added 240,000 jobs in Canada, woo! All government jobs, all destroying Canadian middle-class families, all destroying, and raising taxes to keep people that don't speak English making a six-figure income that just arrived to Canada. And they're getting it, and they're making it, and they're buying their homes and raising and feeding their families. And small business owners and families that have come here to build the infrastructure, they're just not welcome here, right? So we have, yeah, guys, if you want to support us on DonorBox, you can. We got a little link below there. It's showing Morning Coffee with Mike, and I have to learn how to add panels on this thing, so I think what it is, I need to get over 200 followers on here so that I could become an affiliate or a partner or whatever or something. And until then, I'm gonna have to figure out the parameters of the software and where to go from here. So there it is. That's what we've been talking about. So Connecticut judge tosses election results after video of ballot fraud emerges. Son of Hamas leader. Hamas is a Nazi group. Israel not responsible for Gaza civilian deaths. Again, they're going to be dividing. They're creating this divide on purpose. They're purposely pushing this divide because they don't really have a choice right now. Governments are working hard towards basically making the last 3.5 years, now we're in 3.5 years, folks, disappear. Governments want 3.5 years to go. And that is what is happening with that. And RT, what are they? Western nations changing tune on defeating Russia. So obviously we knew that this was a proxy war. We told you about, I could bring up the videos. It's a proxy war. It's a war of attrition. It's money laundering on the Western side. And Russia is just sitting back laughing. Russia's been sitting back laughing at this war. And it's something we've been very vocal about. Let's go to the channel Time Machine here. And let's see what happens if we type in proxy. Who knows what's left up on this channel. Ukraine proxy war, war of attrition, money laundering, hotspot, innocent people suffering. Russian conflict might spiral out of control. I thought we had more than this. I thought we had more proxy war videos than that. We have ones going back. Wow. There we go. War again. Russia, Ukraine, a war of attrition. Russia will win this war and bankrupt American families. There it is right there, folks. We warned you guys 1 year, 10 months ago. NATO to open a second fund. That was a prediction we made, and it was wrong. And why I haven't taken sides on Ukraine versus Russia. A lot of big platforms took my point of view on that and ran with it and actually did well with it. They actually did well with it. They actually look like Samaritan heroes and stuff, right? All right, let's keep going here. Let's keep rolling. Kept it a secret, Hezbollah leader makes shocking reveal. A highly anticipated speech by Hezbollah has started. Again, this is Australian news. In Australians' main headlines, it's not people dying suddenly. It's not, if it's someone that dies suddenly, it's a freak accident on the ice. But people dying suddenly behind the scenes in hospitals, people dying in their sleep, teenagers dying in their sleeps, children normalizing blood clots, all that stuff. Unfortunately, the sad part of it is not making front page. It's heck. The even inflation, the price of food, none of that is unfortunately making any headlines here in Australia. And that's Australian news for you guys. And it's about divide And you could see it front and center. Let's see what Canadian News. Proposed class action lawsuit alleges Olympic maker failed to disclose serious side effect. And I don't even know what this is. And man convicted of fatally poisoning Toronto toddler breakfast cereal sentenced to life in prison. Wish him all the best. Trudeau dismisses Liberal loyalists saying party would benefit from new leader. And obviously Trudeau selected. We told you they were going to call a snap election and Trudeau will win the snap. We called a snap election at the height of a pandemic. And everyone was calling me at the store telling me I'm losing my peanut. They'll never call snap election during the height of a pandemic. You're crazy, Mike. 6 months later, they called. They used the mail-in ballots and Merry Christmas. You got your result. And there's a lot of people in town that still owe me a lot of money because I bet with them $100 a pop, and one person was $50. But I bet $100 a pop to a lot of people in my town, and not a single one of them came to pay me my bet that I won, that the Liberals were going to win. And they're like, oh, is it majority? Did we bet on this? No. We bet the Liberals were going to win. And so Hezbollah chief, all options are on the table against Israel. Resistance groups fully prepared to counter any Israeli moves. U.S. contributing to genocide Palestinians, Iranians. Gaza, so this is what Press TV is saying. Israel strike near UN school in Jabalia. Kills dozens after hospital carnage. Video shows U.S. attack on food convoy in Syria. So this one, this is not making Western headlines here. Am I even allowed to open this? Or am I blocked from this IP too? Because I'm in Canada, so we get blocked from certain IPs. So we got to be really careful. Yeah, this won't even open. Look at this. It won't even open. There it goes. So U.S. convoy. So apparently they're alleging that the U.S. military has attacked food convoy in eastern Syria over allegations that the trucks were carrying weapons, report has revealed. So America has a big presence in the Middle East. Don't forget that, folks. They're still there. And what is Zero Hedge reporting? Again, more Hezbollah. Hezbollah directly responsible for, there it is right there. They're not going to stop with this. They're going to keep creating this divide so people could fight on the ground. They could fight at home. They could fight with their family. They could fight with everybody that they basically please. And they're going to keep doing it. And they're going to keep fighting. And they're going to keep destroying families. And they're going to keep. They're just going to keep doing it because that's what they have to do. 24 law firms warn Harvard, Yale over anti-Semitism on campus. Again, more and more. So House quietly passed resolution that suggests using force against Iran. So this is our World War III, World War IV, World War V, whatever war we are in. Because in about... Okay, prediction time. Okay, guys. In about 50 or 60 years from now, there's going to be historians, true historians. They're going to go back and actually break down the world wars. Right? I believe we're in World War V or World War VI right now. There's a war on for our minds. There's a war on with social media. There's a war on for everything. There's a war on every front. So some historian in 50, 60, 70 years from now is going to go back and is going to say, you know what? We had more than 3 or 4 world wars. We've had 10. And he's going to prove it. He's going to show the war against our minds, the war against our souls, the digital wars. They're going to break this down. They're going to tell us, we won't be alive, but they're going to break down, no, there was more wars. There was so many atrocities of war against the middle class families that built these Western civilizations than ever before. More than actual on the ground with troops with guns. That's the front war they want to show us. But what about the back war? And I think a historian in 50, 67 years will sit down and actually break it down for us and let us know how many wars we've really had. All right, that's the prediction for today, folks. All right, let's keep going and let's see what's... we're having AI. Deal shows China, U.S. can cooperate on tech rules despite rivalry, says analyst. We were talking about the semiconductor wars. We've been very vocal about that. Natural news. Israel cannot destroy Hamas, and the U.S. cannot defeat Iran. And remember we were asking you guys back in 2018, Yeah, it was 2018. 2018 on Mike in the Night. We asked you guys. We're very vocal about this. Can America win its next war? And this was 2018 or 2019. It was way before they pulled the trigger on the pandemic. Can America win its next war? That is the question. Can America win its next war? And majority of people said no. America cannot. America's so stretched thin all over the world that it's beyond winning its next war. It cannot win its next war, even if it tried to win its next war, right? And the Gateway Pundit is reporting. What are they reporting here? Drones. Judge. It's all a distraction. It's all everything. Look at this, folks. Take a good look at this. Everything you're looking at here is a massive distraction. Everything here is a distraction. Everything is a distraction. Canadian news, front and center. See, Canada needs these distractions. Canada needs this so the last 3 years or 3.5 years could go away. They want the last 3 years of lying, and I call it outright murder. They want the last 3 years to go. So they're going to front and center this. They're going to front and center all this stuff here in Canada. And they're not talking about the inflation. They're not talking about housing affordability. They're not talking about things that matter to people in their day-to-day lives. They're telling you what a money launderer did and how we told you this was money laundering from day one. But that's okay, because nobody knows we exist. And what is UK news? Again, this Hamas thing is front and center in this Hezbollah is front and center with this, and on every front page, because they need the next 3 years to disappear. They're doing everything to. And Europe, foreigners convicted of nearly half of all rapes and murders in Switzerland last year. So what is happening here, folks? Foreigners. Foreign nationals convicted of almost half of all rapes and homicides reported in Switzerland last year, as the federal government data releases a drastic overrepresentation of migrants from predominantly Muslim countries, the country's crime statistics. A total of 93,693 people were convicted of crimes in... What? What? A total of 93,693 people were convicted of crimes in Switzerland last year, according to data published last month by the Federal Statistics Bureau. This related to a total of 103,156 crimes, with some sentenced for multiple offenses, which represented an increase of 3% of the previous year. Holy crap! So, of those convicted, just 39,798 were Swiss nationals, meaning 57.5% of all solved crimes were committed by foreign nationals. Solved crimes, 57.5%. Wow. So the Swiss nationals here, what if they were foreigners that became Swiss nationals? Right? You see where I'm going here? What if half of those were half of the Swiss nationals were foreigners at one point? Wow. Wow, you can't make this stuff up, folks. And migrants from sub-Sahara Africa were 5 times more likely. Afghan Pakistani nationals were 3 times more likely. And Romanian and Bulgarian nationals were 2 times more likely to be convicted of serious offenses. Wow. So here's another article for you guys. France, foreigners committed 69% of robberies, violent crimes, and sexual assaults on public transports. And Africans are responsible for 52% of crimes on public transport, while making up 3.2% of the population. Whoa, 3.2% of the population! Oh my goodness. So this is coming to North America as Canada opens its borders. Last year, 69% of violent robberies and other violent crimes, including sexual assaults on public transport in the Greater Paris region of Ile-de-France, were perpetuated by foreign nationals according to the national figures of the SSMSI, the Statistics Bureau of French Ministry Interior. However, looking closer at the data, it has revealed Africans alone are responsible for 52% of such crimes, while only 3.2% of the population of France. Wow, this is crazy. So we're seeing it front and center. This is obviously going to come to Canada, because Canada is working hard. Canada's working hard to bring in foreigners to not they're going to be deporting the Portuguese. Don't worry about the Portuguese. Won't be a problem here in Canada. Don't you worry. They'll be deporting more of those. They'll be bringing in more people to come in to live in the buildings, not fix the buildings, not fix the roads, not repair things, just to live in the buildings, and then eventually get a government job and learn English. Serbian authorities detain over 700 illegal migrants as crackdown on Hungarian borders continue. And Polish rearmament is provoking Russia and could lead to World War III. So Polish rearmament is provoking Russia and could lead to World War III. The central communication port will benefit Poland and should not be used as a political football. So a lot of stuff happening here in Europe, folks. And I would like to go to some comments, but there's nobody, unfortunately, in the comment section, which is okay. And we're going to be streaming on here for a while, folks. And there's reasons for it. And we are basically being shown the door everywhere. And we're running out of platforms, folks. And I'm not sure if it's some of the extreme comments in the comment section. If it's I don't think it's our callers. I don't know what's going on, folks. And I'll keep you guys posted. I'm just some small guy that's been warning you guys for years now. Trying to make sense of where things are going, why they're going the way they're going, and how we could get through this together. And people are saying, well, Mike, you need to talk more solutions. I already warned you guys what was going to happen. It should have been fixed 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 years ago. The warnings were there. The rice is in the pudding, or the whatever the stupid saying is. So, guys, go ahead into the chat if you want to leave a comment there. I'd appreciate it. I'd appreciate it very much if you guys could leave a comment there. We know we got Dr. Mysterio in the comments. Supreme Cannon has joined us, not tonight, but Supreme Cannon's here in the chat. We got Charlie Brown just followed us. And Dr. Mysterio saying the ascension should have happened in 2001. So that's what he has to say here. The interface on if you get the app, forget watching this through Google or Gmail or Google server or whatever, or get the app. Get the DLive app, guys. I have it. It's nice. Let me see here. The app is really nice, and I'm going to open it for you guys to see. The app is really nicely led. Oh, we got you fans on the live stream. And look at the app. It's really nicely laid out. And then when you go to a video, start watching. You could go in, look at the chat. Look at the chat. Right? It looks really good. It's really well made. It's really well. So it's going to be our home for a little while now, folks. And we are, again, we're being just constantly shown the door everywhere. There's a lot of things that do happen on the back end that I don't tell you guys about. And there's a lot of things that like I just never understood. It is what it is. Some people are some people are allowed, and through specific criterias, to say certain things. And some of us have to constantly move around from platform to platform, even the free speech platforms. And it just is what it is. And there's nothing more I could do about it, folks. And unfortunately. Anyways, guys, I'm going to sign off. It's been a good 40 beautiful minutes with you guys. I'm going to head off to the store. And I'll see you guys there if you want. I'll be at the store till 6 o'clock Pacific time. And I'll talk to you guys later. Mike Martin's here. I have spoken.